Guys, I'm so excited to be making this video. Dollywood has been one of my top bucket list parks in the US for a very long time. And at last, I finally got to take a trip there in early July as a part of my 2021 East Coast road trip. While the hype surrounding the park were at an all-time high for me, I do have to admit that the park lived up to every bit of my expectations. For starters, it is one of the most beautiful parks I've ever seen, nestled in the Smoky Mountains of Tennessee. And it's got some incredible theming, food offerings, ride operations, and park employees. But perhaps the best part about this incredible theme park is their world-class collection of roller coasters. They may only have 9, but as with everything else at Dollywood, it's all about quality over quantity. With a lineup that focuses on having offerings for everyone, the park's coasters will certainly satisfy every member of the family. So in this video, I will be ranking them up from worst to best, every single one of them, and I'll be giving my reasonings, of course. But before we dive in, don't forget that if you'd like to support the channel, the best thing you can do is drop a like and subscribe down below. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed my list of the top 9 roller coasters at Dollywood. Number 9, Firechaser. Other than having little bits of theming, this is a pretty standard kids coaster built by ThemeParkHD. Of course, I do appreciate that there isn't an arbitrary height requirement that makes adults exempt from riding, because it did mean I was able to snag another coaster credit. But other than serving that purpose, this is going to be a coaster that thrill seekers like myself are not going to get much of a kick out of. Firechaser is perfect for the little ones though, so if you have any younger guests attending the park with you, this attraction may be of interest. Number 8, Blazing Fury. What a bizarre ride. This is essentially a classic roller coaster mixed dark ride all in one attraction. Most of the ride consists of old school animatronics and theming elements, but ends in a rather unpredictable way. Out of nowhere, you have a few maneuvers like dips, drops, and turns that fully rely on gravity, thus making this a roller coaster. But I'm convinced that if the ending weren't there, Blazing Fury would probably be more frequently classified as a dark ride. But regardless of what you may think of it as, it's a fun ride, and it's perfect for times when the weather maybe isn't looking the best, like when I first got to the park. Number 7, Dragonflyer. The first legit, full-fledged outdoor coaster to make the list can be found in the newest area of the park, Wildwood Grove. But considering that it resides in a section mostly for younger guests, this thing packs in a big punch. The ride is essentially one of those next-generation Vekoma family inverted coasters, and more specifically, has been the successful 453-meter layout that has been cloned 10 other times. But with that being said, Dragonflyer is the only version of this ride operating in the United States, and I think we can all agree that it being cloned isn't a bad thing anyways. It packs in some shocking positive G's with tons of windy elements that make for an excellent family coaster experience. I'll tell you, for being at the bottom of a list like this should not be overlooked at all. Number 6, Firechaser Express. Talk about an impressive family coaster. This ride was a super fun time to me. The ride features an original layout by Gerstlauer with 2 launches, a lift hill, a backward section, and bunches of scenery and theming. I'll be honest, for a ride that maybe isn't the most thrilling, Dollywood could not have done anything to improve Firechaser Express furthermore. This is absolutely one of my favorite family coasters to date, and I don't think that should be an argument whatsoever. This thing has the full package for what I look for in a coaster of its size, and for that, I believe it was the perfect investment for the park at the time of its opening in 2014. Absolutely awesome ride. Number 5, Mystery Mine. This was a huge surprise for me and my entire group because none of us knew anything about this coaster going in. If you would like to ignore any spoilers, you are welcome to skip over to the number 4 spot on this list because I don't think I have a choice but to talk about it a little bit. First things first, would you believe me if I told you that Mystery Mine had 2 vertical lift hills? I don't know of any other coaster on planet Earth that has more than 1 off the top of my head, so that should already tell you that this is going to be a super unique layout. It also begins with a short but steep drop right out of the station, which then leads into a whole ass dark ride section. But it gets even better, because following the ride's outdoor segment, you end out in a bang after you rise up the second vertical lift hill. As you stall at the peak, you see explosives set on fire and dive down a super steep drop into the grand finale, which is a double inversion. This is a crazy way to end out the ride because the rest of it is honestly pretty tame. So the fact that they throw this at you at the last second is all the more reason to love Mystery Mine. I honestly could not get enough of this coaster when I was at the park, and I now fully understand the mystery that comes from the name. Number 4, Wild Eagle. Narrowly edging out Mystery Mine is a coaster that was only my second ever B&M wing coaster, but for being considered the worst one in the US, I was surprised by how much this ride packed in. If you do want to get nitpicky, Wild Eagle could stand to have some near-miss elements, since those are traditionally what wing coasters are most well known for. But put that aside and appreciate the sequence of elements, particularly in the first half, and the terrain interaction throughout the whole ride. I also personally found myself graying out starting at the bottom of the first drop, which was another surprise for sure. I'm not gonna lie, I would easily take Gatekeeper at Cedar Point over Wild Eagle, but so far I've only been impressed by the ride model. B&M wing coasters to me have only been awesome, and I can't wait to try out more in the future. Number 3, Tennessee Tornado. The top 3 at this park is absolutely incredible, and kicking it off is a top 50 worthy coaster for me. Without question, this is the best aero looping coaster in the world. I was originally hesitant of this praise before riding because I absolutely love Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain and Canyon Blaster at the Adventure Dome in Las Vegas. But now I think I've ridden all of the best looping coasters the manufacturer has to offer, and I'm amazed that this one combines the best of both worlds from Viper and Canyon Blaster. It literally takes the crazy intensity of the former and breakneck pacing of the latter, making it such an incredible combination. If I do have one minor critique, this is a short ride, but I've said before that length doesn't bother me as much as it bothers other enthusiasts. For me, as long as a coaster is delivering the best possible sensations in its short ride time, it gets a pass in that department. With the fantastic layout and terrain usage, Tennessee Tornado easily fills in that criteria, and as a whole, it was just a huge surprise for me. Number 2, Thunderhead. It has taken me long enough to ride one of the upper tier GCIs in the States. Sure, some of you could say Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm, but I think that's more of a CCI than a GCI. But who cares, let's focus on this fantastic ride and give it the spotlight for a second. The best coaster that I would personally use to compare to Thunderhead is Apocalypse at Six Flags Magic Mountain, which is a coaster that I already love and think is underrated. But this ride takes Apocalypse's layout and improves it in every way possible. It's considerably more intense, it's sequenced even better, and my favorite thing about it is that it gets better as the ride goes on. Where Apocalypse starts to kind of die out at the end, Thunderhead starts going berserk at the end. It literally rockets through till the end, which makes it such an incomplete Woody in my opinion. Like a lot of the other coasters in the park, this was another surprise for me. I, once again, could not get enough of Thunderhead, and I was just over the moon for this ride. Number 1, Lightning Rod. Talk about warming up, because this thing does it better than almost any other coaster I've ridden. When I originally got off for my first morning ride towards the back, I came up with the new number 13 overall. I personally thought to myself it was overrated but still so good that I couldn't necessarily be disappointed. But then I came back later in the day and began marathoning it at sunset when the ride had warmed up so much, and I was just shocked. Now, to be honest, I still don't think Lightning Rod is quite on that level of something like Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point, but instead it's closer to something like Twisted Timbers at King's Dominion or Iron Rattler at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. But with that said, I love both of those rides, and in Lightning Rod's case, it warmed up enough to where it jumped from 13 to 8 overall in my rankings. When you start getting to my top coasters list, it becomes increasingly difficult to rank higher and higher, so I was amused that Lightning Rod was able to grow on me as much as it did. This is yet another masterpiece by Rocky Mountain Construction. I wish I could have ridden it in its original form, I'm not gonna lie. I can only imagine how ridiculous this ride would be before the launch was slowed down and then when the whole ride was topper track. But I can't complain too much because you're still able to fully appreciate the impeccable terrain-driven layout. The airtime that you feel, whether it's sideways, slantways, or right side up, ejector is fantastic, and it has you wondering how the upstop wheels are keeping the train on the track. But with that all being said, welcome to my top 10 Lightning Rod. I'm never gonna forget the sunset and one nighttime ride I got on this incredible coaster. So guys, there we have it. We have ranked all 9 roller coasters at Dollywood successfully. For those of you who haven't had the chance to visit this park yet, I would highly encourage you to do so as soon as you possibly can because it is one of the best parks in the entire world. But if you have been there before, feel free to comment down below how you would rank the coasters here and what you think of some of the individual rides at the top. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more videos like these. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye guys.